Hello everyone, and welcome to Arcane Focus D&D for Session 8. I didn't say season this time. I'm your DM, Mike. DM stands for Dungeon Master. You can also call me GM, which stands for Game Master. Or you can call me the Storyteller, or you can call me the God of this world, Master of all, Lord of the Realms, Creator and Crafter, Alpha and the Omega. Or, more accurately to these players, you can just call me the NPC Punching Bag. Well, I'm joined with a cozy crew today. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. I'm joined with Amber, Nick.
Hello.
And Titan.
Howdy.
Oh, boy. Yes, both Steve and Temple are taking days off for birthdays. So, happy birthday to my summer baby sibling. And as well as some well-needed rest from Steve's part as well. I know that, man, that guy's he went through Anime Expo. I don't...
We don't envy.
Yeah, absolutely not. Now, while you're watching this video right now, especially on Twitch, you might see some clear cuts. That's because this is a pre-recorded stream. We do things called toddler breaks, where we have a level 1 monk currently running around, eating snacks, reading books, causing chaos. Sometimes you might hear him throwing things onto a wall. He's learning how to do that.
Or throwing a cat. No
That
biggie.
too. But let's say you jumped into this video and the stream and you're like, oh, well, this is fun, but I don't really think I have 2.5 hours to dedicate to this. Well, that's totally fine. Join us on Sundays on our YouTube channel for Short Rest, which is a little recap show that goes on for like 10 to 15 minutes or so, sometimes less. And it gives you sort of the rough breakdowns and sort of the highlights of what happened during this session. Perfect for those who have a busy schedule. Before we get to the game, I would like our 3 players to roll me a d20. Now you will have a 1/3 chance.
I tried to get him to read it, you guys, but he said no.
I wasted both a 1 and a 20 today.
Oh no.
So,
Please
does
don't.
it balance out? Is that a bad thing? I don't know.
10.
Balanced as it should be. A 10, okay?
I got a 5.
A 5.
And I did get a 20.
Okay. This is yours, Titan.
Oh, yay! Nat 20, I get to read.
I'll say and this is funny because it's with the less players we have, sort of this little cozy crew, it's not that many lines.
Oh, great.
Hey, Titan, we're going to play a little game right now. When I say food court, what's the first word that comes to mind?
Unsustainable business venture?
Okay, first of all, that's 3 words. Also, not what I'm getting at. All right, let's try it again. Shopping.
Okay. Black Friday deals.
Again, that's 3 words.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
not what I'm
really
looking
bad at
for.
counting.
I know. You're getting closer, though, so I appreciate that. Okay, let's try it again. Muzak.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. Skyrise elevators.
We're bringing it down to 2 words, which is an improvement, but no. I'm talking about the mall.
Oh, of course! Just like the shopping mall setting that our new 3-part story, Tasha's Mall of Everything, is set in.
That's right. Join us for next Saturday for part 1 of our fun 90s meets D&D mini-story. We'll be joined by guest players Crash, Pixie, Asteria, Wit, and Como from Roll for Impact, and our very own Amber as a player as well. So grab your chain wallet, feed your Tamagotchi, and get ready for this fun little venture. We'll be returning to VinTear, I believe with our whole crew, on the very first Saturday of September. So join us then. Yes, and for putting me back into the mindset of the 90s, Titan, why don't you go ahead and take a Bardic Inspiration, a D6.
Yay! Thank you!
Well, with that out of the way in terms of our announcements, you guys ready for a quick recap?
See.
Yeah. With heavy breaths under the silver spoon, our party collects themselves, as well as a few obsidian cookware along the way, and meet up with Harper, informing of the devilish influence that the shop owner had and her plan to kill any rival lovers. He told the party of an underlying effect that VinTear has on external beings, extraplanar beings. Though his info was interesting, it was limited and suggested to talk to someone with a little bit more knowledge on the past. After some rest and a gifted hat, our party heads over to Shoreside Antiquities, the shop and homestead of Ambrosia and Izzy. The happy family members were happily greeted Legati and the party while Morris walked the shop. They learned of the past and how VinTear was hit with a continent-spanning tidal wave that covered the land in the water from the gazing pool. This water, infused with the land, almost was somewhat like magnetized, or a magnet for devils, fiend, fae, and all sorts of extraplanar beings. After some coin was exchanged for this information, she offered the party a job to investigate the Lone Guard Lighthouse and the land it sits on. A contested islet where both the Kingdom and the Unity have sort of forbode anyone from entering without proper approval. However, with Ambrosia completing a lot of her work here in the desert, which is within the Unity's land, as well as being a citizen of the Kingdom and providing information for them in the past, she was granted special approval. She provided you with a pass, paperwork informing of your approved travel, and informed you of a payment up to 4,000 gold pieces for information. Our party headed out, but not before Morse found a strange-looking rod, fiddling with it, sort of playing with the small indentation and contraptions inside, and was sucked inside. Strange, to say the least, but the party was informed that he should be let out at a certain point, just unsure when. They traveled south, finding a woodland family with their spectator guardian, then securing a fortified rowboat for the last leg of the trip. With the oars in hand, Arrow was able to rough the waves as you now all crossed into the shore of Lone Guard. I will put you back onto the map where you guys are. You have chosen the middle shore to land. Once again, majority of Lone Guard is covered in mud, slightly damp, wet from the ocean, sort of the angry waves coming from the west. Apologies. And the parts that are not stable to stand on, a lot of the buildings that once sat here on what you can assume this land used to be greater, but was taken over by the seas. Bits and pieces of the roofs from which can be from this location assumed to be residential buildings, as well as maybe small shops and things like that, sticking out of the mud. Some of them sunk into the ocean. Water has sort of taken almost like small canals in this space. Definitely sort of a difficult place to walk. The other thing that sort of catches your attention are these strange lamps that give off this light green glow. From the ocean, when you guys were heading into Lone Guard proper, you were made aware of a few interesting buildings and structures that caught your attention. An amphitheater, a couple of buildings with almost man-made bridges that cross these sort of sunken spaces, a church with numerous statues, a very well-built and still intact building, as well as the lighthouse and the keeper's manor ahead of it. But you guys land. Diva next to you, sort of grabbing her stuff. What do you guys like to do?
What time of day is it? Like after all this? Legati knows.
Legati knows.
Legati always knows.
Woke up, traveled halfway. Chris here. I would say it's about. Legati knows is like 4:30.
Okay.
The only issue is that it's hard to see the sun because of the rough waves here. There's almost like a constant, like a rain cloud above you. You are still feeling a little bit of, not sure if it's from the ocean spray or light drizzle. It's so light that it's kind of hard to tell where it's coming from.
But it's not actually raining or storming here right now.
Look up. No, it doesn't seem like the clouds are angry at the moment. It doesn't seem like we're having a storm.
All right. Did anybody have any immediate destinations in mind?
Not really. I'm following you on this one.
Right.
Yeah,
Legati
I only know the
claps his
lighthouse.
hands. Yeah. Happy to take the lead. We see these buildings with bridges. How close are we to like the nearest building?
You are from the shore. You're about a block away from this building that leads northwards, and you're
Okay.
about 2 blocks away from this building that leads to the west.
Okay.
Some some structures are sort of slanted sideways, sticking out of the dirt. Yeah, definitely show of wear and tear.
Yes. Eventually, we want to investigate the lighthouse itself, but to avoid backtracking, perhaps we should explore this northwest island first while we are here, so that we don't have to do it later on. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Legati is rummaging in his big traveling backpack and has pulled out a miner's pick and a foldable shovel, and he offers both of them to you, Phoenix. Says, "Which one would you like?"
Shovel?
Give you the shovel, and then Arrow, he hands you the miner's pick.
All right.
We are on an archaeological expedition, after all. It's important to be prepared. Legati starts walking towards the nearest building to the northwest.
I follow.
I will also follow. When we get close to one of these lamps, can I see what's illuminating it?
Yeah.
I don't like that smirk.
You're heading northwards or to the west?
Northwest, across that bridge.
Got it.
Yeah.
Getting closer to this building, it's not a hard. It's definitely you currently, all 4 of you technically. It's almost like sinking your boots into the mud and getting them out and doing a sort of long stride walk. Eventually finding some rocky paths to make your way safe, but then eventually you're back into the mud. Definitely a difficult trek. Able to make it to the front of this building. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the... Oh, okay, here we go. This is what it is. The front door, as well as what you can see beyond it, and I'll get to the lantern as well, but it looks like a bakery, where the majority of the mud has shattered a lot of the windows in here, and the bakery does look like it's like fallen a little bit, sunk into the mud, and the first floor is caked in this thick mud. There is a upstairs where you can see the bridge, sort of this man-made bridge, does go northwest, but the lanterns that currently sit here, luckily have not fallen over, are sort of on one of these small bits of like rocky platforms. It is not fire that is giving off this glow. It is very much like a lamp where it has like a covering, sort of a shell, sort of this metal cage, and inside is or holding it is glass. And inside the glass, you see there is bubbling water, giving off this light green glow.
I'm gonna like stop in front of one of them and like look up at it. Hey, Legati.
Yes, and I'm also looking at the lantern now.
Do you know what that is?
Certainly looks to be intentionally constructed. Is it worth making a history or investigation check on this, DM? Is there any way Legati could know anything about this?
Yeah, you could roll me either a history or an arcana.
History or Arcana. All right, both are +5, so let's go ahead and do history.
All right.
That's a 12.
12. I think you start to look at the outer shell of it with a history check. I think what you learn is not like you definitely have not heard of this, but I think what crosses Legati's mind is I think you start to touch it and don't feel any heat from it. You do feel like a soft, like almost spark of not electricity, but like arcane magic. Like sort of pull your hand away. And I think, unfortunately, the history check not high enough to sort of learn if you've maybe read about this or seen this implement in the past. But this seems advanced. Very advanced. And I think that's what crosses Legati's mind is like, this is... You've never seen this in the capital.
Yeah, I think that's what I say. Like I'm not familiar with these specifically, but it certainly is an odd thing to find here on a supposedly deserted and uninhabited, ruined island. So many of them. There's like dozens, hundreds that we've seen all over this.
A few dozens you've seen so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they? Could we take one? Like not now, but let's say we wanted to take one on our way out with us in the boat. What's preventing us from doing that, if anything?
It didn't hurt when you touched it. It was just almost like static electricity that sort of released.
I'd probably have my unseen servant try to take it later.
Yeah.
Before, in case it sets off an alarm or something. But.
I think you get a sense like if you were to try something right now and something you don't have to release it at the moment. But very much like a bulb, you can unscrew it.
Okay. I'm gonna make a note that perhaps when we are leaving this place, we'll take one or two of these with us for further study, and maybe Ambrosia will pay for them.
Sure.
I think Diva is just going, pretty. Are you sure we can't take it now?
Certainly don't want to carry it now.
Oh, that's true.
How big are they?
Out
of curiosity before we stuck.
It's like a foot and a half.
Foot and a half.
With some like 6 inches in diameter. And the water's like halfway. It's like enough where it can bubble.
I mean, while we're here and while we're looking at this thing, I'm going to use shape water cantrip and just see if I can move the water around in there to confirm whether it's water.
Okay. You cast shape water. It's a cantrip, correct?
Yes.
No.
Okay, roll me a d100.
Oh no. Hey Mike, don't forget the music.
What about it?
You have it deafened.
Yeah, because it can't speak.
Oh.
Music can't
didn't
speak.
Have it on.
That is a 55.
55.
Chaos table.
Okay.
It's fine.
The spell goes off, but does not find the target. However, the bubbling stops and sits with this no longer bright, but you could still see that the color of the water was always green. Just no longer glowing at the moment.
Did you break it?
Very curious. Okay, so we know that there's this... Clear up my history knowledge here. The tidal wave itself that happened, was that water the water that has weird magical properties? Or is that only the lake of it now that's to the south?
Yeah, so I think what Ambrosia informed you was that the gazing pool, which is to the south of VinTear, that is right next to a tidewell and the desert, used to be, centuries ago, used to be bigger, way bigger. And numerous, countless years ago, a massive tidal wave hit VinTear, drowning a lot of the civilizations and villages and people, burying a bunch of things and shifting the continent in a way where its entire structure was different after the whole experience happened. And what that also did is that it pushed and spread a bunch of the pool water, this gazing pool water, across VinTear. So the tidal wave was not magical, at least what you can assume to be.
It spread a lot of magical water around the place. And so my last question then is, do I happen to know if gazing pool water is green for some reason?
Roll me a history check.
Okay.
That determines
Would
whether
I know if gazing pool water is green.
That's only going to be a 6. I have not traveled south yet. I definitely want to find this out, but I don't know.
Luckily, you do have someone who was native to the Jeweled Unity who lived right next to.
Yeah, then I'm saying this out loud. I'm saying perhaps this is gazing pool water, and looking at Arrow like someone who lived there.
Looking at the DM.
It gives like a light It's more mixed with seawater now, but it definitely, because, in the past when the tidal wave hit, especially now it's more connected to the ocean, but it does always give off a light green coloration.
Okay.
Not as concentrated as this one though.
Okay. If only kind of cross his arms and like look at it a second time. It actually might be. It does kind of glow green a little, though not usually that bright.
Fascinating. It seemed to have some sort of magical reaction when I tried to test the water. So let's make a note. On our way out, I will have my unseen servant attempt to take one of these lanterns, and we should all be sheltered as far away as that spell allows, in case of unexpected results.
All right.
Excellent.
Sorry
Yes.
to distract you all with a bright light. Let's continue onward.
Everything here is potentially fascinating and potentially part of our 4,000 gold reward. So,
Fair
That's
enough.
fair.
well done, keeping an eye out.
Okay. Are you guys sort of swimming through the mud to get to the second level?
Is there any way we don't have to?
I was gonna try and
Let
climb
Phoenix
the
see-
roof.
Yeah.
Phoenix, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Ooh, all right. No, that dice screwed me last
No
time.
worries. We can say that Diva gives you an assistance.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't roll bad anyway. 18.
18. You start to walk sort of muddied, caked boots around the building until you do see that there is a crack on the side of on the second story that you can climb. Would take a check, but you can attempt it.
I think I can lift Legati. If
Do you,
Legati wants to
have
be
a-
lifted.
yeah. Do you have a rope with you? We could potentially climb up with some assistance
Do.
after you.
Okay. Well, she will tie a rope to herself and start climbing.
Roll me an acrobatics check.
All right. My good dice is not out today. Don't be bad. Wasn't bad. I don't know what my athletics is, to be fair.
It's probably really good.
It better be. The way I built her. Oh, okay. 22.
Guys, you're only level 3. There is a flagpole on the first story, sort of above one of the windows, where the flag is gone. And able to sort of grab that, pull it down, and use that momentum to fling yourself up, grabbing onto the top and backflipping onto your feet into the second story. It's like a crack on the second story. You've landed in a hallway that leads forward. There is a door to your right, a door to your left, and if you continue forward, you can see that there is another crack in the wall, closer to where the sunken part of this land is, where that bridge leads northwest. So head straight to that bridge, or there's a door to left and right.
Does it look like I could tie this rope around the flagpole, or is it better that it's tied around me?
Yeah, there's probably something nearby, like a door you can tie it to, something structurally
Tie it
sound,
to
like a
that.
wall that's exposed with a beam. You can do so.
All right, you should be good, I think. She's looking around.
I'll say with the aid of the rope, we won't have any checks on this one. You guys are
Oh,
able to
thank
make your way.
goodness.
Because you're not in a rush. I'll say that much. You can take your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. It's only one story up with rope.
Yeah.
Kids can do that.
Like,
I was like,
Eventually.
she could have carried you. She wouldn't have minded.
Diva, I think it's
That's
Diva.
undignified.
I think Diva's might be the second strongest. Is able to sort of grab you, Legati, pull you up. Legati, roll me a perception check. Roll me a perception check right now as you are lifted up.
That is a 16.
16. In almost like a bullet time moment, Diva on top, where the hallway is, pulls you up, helps you up, just as you're like trying to grab onto the edge, gets you up, and something dislodges from her pack. You see it, she sees it. She's a very quick, almost like this bestial instinct of reaching for it, grabs it, accidentally presses the top, and And with your
Oh.
sixing, you're able to shoot and grab the base and not touch the top.
Oh God.
I'm not
Okay,
touching
I grabbed
that.
the base and then I set it down gently. Oh, that's unfortunate. We've had an incident.
Oh, quick thing for you, Nick, but I think you're kind of muffled right now.
Oh,
There you go.
hello. Can you hear me?
Welcome
There
back.
you Welcome back. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I just say we have had an incident with the rod.
Again?
I don't know. Ambrosia seems very nice, but the fact that she doesn't know what that does and just leaves it out is very not smart. I don't know what else to say.
Well, you know, sometimes you can't help it. And I will take the rod and put it in my bag.
Very brave of you.
Someone has to take them. We can't just leave them here.
Almost like it has a mind of its own. But, I'm sure it's fine.
You say that.
Dare you
Like,
call me out?
bridge?
Bridge.
She points to the bridge.
There's a couple of doors next to us, right?
Yeah. There's a door to your left and a door to your right.
All right, I'm gonna open the door to the left and peek in before we go to the bridge.
You should
Yeah,
check
quickly.
for
Open it
Alright.
up.
There might be stuff in there.
Exactly.
Said
That's why
positively,
you
yeah.
should check for traps
There
before
might-
you open the door, Legati.
No,
Stuff-
it's
stuff
an
is
abandoned
potentially
place.
good. Yeah.
There's nothing here.
You open the door to the left and you see that there is a tiny little office with the writer's desk that it looks like it's been, due to this place being slanted, the desk sort of over time has crept due to like the winds and the waves. The shaking of the actual building has moved the desk to the one side of the room. A office chair on wheels has also ended up there as well. There's an old, musty, barnacled, crusted rug underneath. And there are signs of like wallpaper has been peeled back. The salt water is definitely corroded a lot here. It's somewhat exposed to the elements. The window that's out here is sort of not opened. It's just like some of the glass planes. There's like little bits of holes, like just something wind has pulled out here and shattered it a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of this old little office.
Beautiful.
After
Is
you.
there anything to open, like desk drawers or?
There's a few desk drawers.
Okay, Legati will go over and start opening desk drawers.
Roll investigation check.
Okay. And that's only a 10. Rolling well today.
Pull one of the desk drawers open, and you see a slip of rotted piece of paper, but you can barely see the writing. Sort of this black ink that reads, "Mother's cinnamon bread, 2 eggs, sugar, flour," and then the rest is unintelligible. Pull it again. Just more drawers looking through. You pull one, and you see something red. Reach for your hand. You
Oh.
pull away, and it's a small little crab that sort of goes back into the shelf.
My apologies. I will take the papers, bloody recipes.
Can I look underneath the desk and just kind of like knock to see?
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
That's not good. I don't think her investigation's very high. Nope, that's a 6. Don't do
6.
shit.
You knock at the wood and tap, 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 clack, and your hand goes through a little bit of the rotted wood,
Oops.
and you're like, oh, and it's got like that black viscous thing where like mold has taken over. You have to like wipe it down a little
she
bit.
doesn't wipe it. She just like lights her hand on fire to
Oh.
burn it off.
There you go.
That's disgusting.
When you do that,
Uh-oh.
using produce flames, the room across the way, the second room that you have not looked into, a light goes on.
Oh. Guess it likes fire?
Do you think someone's home?
Maybe. Maybe we should
gonna go
knock
check.
first.
I'm going to
Arrow.
go.
Yes, if someone does live here and we are trespassing, perhaps knocking is not the worst idea.
Well, I just don't want you to open a door and then, like, arrow in the head. So,
Fair enough.
I will hesitantly knock first.
You wait for a moment after knocking, hearing as much as you can. You don't hear a voice to respond.
I'll open the door then.
Open the door. Under the door frame, or the door itself, where that light is currently shining through, you see that there is like a picture frame on a side desk, and there's a large bed that has numerous like stains due to the elements. And your attention kind of goes directly to that frame. As you step in, something else catches your attention on the opposite end. And this looks like a full-on bedroom that's kind of been rotted away, left abandoned. Attached to the wall, like in the middle of the wall, not touching the floor, is a skeleton with numerous barnacles, and other sort of like coral reef is growing out of the chest, kind of like out, and it just sort of lays there, just sort of sign of maybe a previous tenant or inhabitant that was here before. And your attention kind of goes back to that frame. And due to the magic, you see that it is what we would consider in nowadays time like a modern day LCD frame, like a picture frame. You see that the screen flashes and depicts a family. Rotund man with an arm around an equally rotund husband, with a little girl hanging off both of their shoulders in the middle. And then the frame turns black and then shows another of them sort of like opening day of their bakery, and then turns black and then shows like moments in time.
Is that where the light is coming from?
Yeah.
That's
it's like-
turned on when.
I mean, I could light my hand again, see what happens.
Frame goes off.
Likes
we-
light.
Tell based on like the images, like what race of people these were. Like, were they elves or?
The two people you see, or at least three, I would say, more humanoid, or human, I should say, aspects. You don't see the pointy ears, sort of the, tusks or horns that would indicate otherwise. Coloration is kind of pinkish, so
Okay.
definitely not like, a wild ash-colored genasi color, like a fire genasi, like Phoenix, or some other blue coloration or green for water. And they're average size.
Okay. And you said the skeleton was just like against the wall, like sitting down or collapsed against it.
Like a full-on Spider-Man moment where someone is hanging on the wall, like someone has stuck them to a wall, or something
Okay.
has stuck them to a wall.
Yeah, can I like check that out a little bit? See what is like maintaining that?
Roll me a nature check.
Nature? Oh no. Yeah, 7.
One thing is clear, is there are several broken ribs in the chest, where you can see that there was a clear impact. But other than that, I mean, it just looks like the environment took it.
Can I
It's
make
hard
a
to tell.
medicine check?
A medicine check?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a medicine check.
Nope.
Turns out he's dead.
He's real dead.
He'll be all right. He'll be all right.
Just breaks off a
Walk
bone
it
by
off!
accident. Oops. Here,
All
Legati.
right, if they're just messing with the skeleton, I'm going to take the picture frame.
How big is this picture frame?
I was assuming it was like
He said it was
Yeah,
like
it's
an LCD one. So
Oh,
it's like
okay.
that.
I
LCD
thought it
screens,
was
yeah.
like huge. I don't know why.
It seems cool. It seems rare. It seems valuable. Goes in the bag.
goes in the bag.
You
Goes in
can
the back.
kick this bone too here.
All right, goes in the bag.
Hello, Masato. Welcome back.
I know. Our little creepy boy.
Uh,
Who also got into shit. To Chris. I want to kind of like touch the wall, but with her hands on fire. Like she's just kind of curious. Like she wants to, I guess, kind of like go down her veins like a match and just lights them and sees what happens.
Sure. Cast produce flames, having it trail up your arm, up to your hand. And you say you're touching the wall?
Yeah. Like where the frame was. Where
the frame was.
Yeah.
You don't see any reaction. But
That's
I believe, Legati, your bag is not like a bag of holding.
no,
It's
it's
just a
regular
bag.
Yeah, you're through the leather. You see the bright illumination from the LCD. It turned back on.
Very interesting.
Seems like a very arcane place so far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if it does it just for fire or other things.
I can try something, and I will instead use dancing lights.
Dancing lights. The LCD screen reacts again and turns off.
Responding to any sort of magic, like the water outside, perhaps.
Roll me Arcana check for you, Legati.
That is a 13.
13. Yeah, I think you can solidify that there is some reaction to magic being casted. I think what goes through your mind is due to the concentration of the lanterns outside, it might have a more severe effect as what you kind of were looking for, or what could have occurred. Sort of that rough understanding of the weave kind of like presses through your mind. You're like, okay, these small, or at least this small object is reacting safely.
Mm-hmm.
The concentrated one, I don't know. It turned off, which I guess is the best outcome.
Fascinating. Perhaps concerning, but
Not as concerning as the rod. I think that one's okay.
We'll just return it to Ambrosia. I'm sure she can find a way to fix it. I'll snuff out the dancing lights.
to the bridge then?
Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
Yes, excellent idea.
You head out to the bridge. There's that opening in the second story. That
I mean, she's gonna like do a perception check because I don't know if this thing is like so rickety that she's gonna put a foot and fall through, or what the deal is.
Okay, go ahead and make perception. I'll describe what you see immediately, but essentially through the hole in the wall, it leads across the sort of underwater, section of the city that's sunken down. There are numerous, like, the frame of a bed tied together with a door, tied together with numerous window shutters, with rope and other sort of objects that have been sort of made to construct this thing. What'd you get?
15.
15.
Wasn't very high.
Maybe one at a time to be safe. You don't think this thing can hold a lot of weight. And I think that fear clicks in, and you look over to Arrow, who's holding the rod, and you think heavy armor would have a really tough problem. And you remember more sort of being always in this sort of armored state. So the fact that you, nimble folk here, probably have a better chance.
I think she ties the rope to herself. How long is this bridge, first off?
The bridge is about, what did I wrote here? It is 15 feet.
Oh, okay. We got 50 feet of rope. We're fine.
Okay.
Legati, maybe you go first. It can't take a whole lot of weight. And she's going to tie the rope to Arrow and be like, I don't know about you, so just, kind of hang on.
He'll peek down at the water and he's like, I can swim, it's fine.
One thing that you should inform where this bridge leads to, is the second story of the building across the way, which looks like a farmhouse, like a barn. And hopefully I get this word right, but it leads to a cupola. Cupola. Hopefully, it essentially is that like little mini door on top of barns where
Okay.
like they do a lot of storage for like hay and stuff like that. It kind of leads to that little upside area.
Hayloft.
Yeah.
I like that word. Yeah. I don't know the other one, so I like it.
I don't know the other weird one.
All right. Yeah, Legati has no problem going first, so he will walk across the bridge.
Walking across the bridge. It's only 15 feet, and you have a rope just in case.
Yeah.
We can definitely say that the only 3 of you don't have to make individuals, but you look down, and there is something dark, like a shadow, swimming in between the sunken buildings underneath you that have been fallen in the water. It's just something, a dark shadow.
You're not swimming in
And-
that.
Yeah, he's like,
And you're-
oh, never mind.
And you're able to make it across.
Phoenix will go next, so she doesn't like pull arrow, but like has enough slack in the rope to go for after Legati.
Same thing. Totally fine.
Before I head over, I'm gonna kind of look at this bridge for a minute. How recently does this look put together?
Oh, investigation check, please.
Ooh, that's much better. Okay, that's a dirty 20.
Definitely not recent. I think you see that there are clear parts of like the leather strappings that sort of also combined with the rope here that have peeled away, giving way. This thing is very weak where it can't handle more than one person. Years.
Like, he's got a contemplating look. Not squinting, because hat and also cloud cover, but like he's looking at it like this is weird to him. And he will cross and like kind of peek over to see it, the shadow beneath him, see if he can figure out what that is too. Like, is it a shark or is it something I should be more afraid of?
You know, like fish with arms.
Yeah, like he's gonna grab me. But he'll cross.
Yeah, you look around, see if you can find it. The shadow has gone under into one of the sunken buildings, so it's kind of difficult to see where it's gone.
How big? Like, do we get an idea of like how long this thing was? Like,
Just using the shadow and
Mhm.
kind of getting an estimate, about 8 feet from end to end, and that's just the shadow. Not sure if there's any more.
I'm gonna say shark.
I'm gonna say stay the F out of the water.
You are in besides the open barn door here on the top and sort of those 2 sort of doors that lead to the outside and this bridge. This place is fairly contained. The top of the barn. It's not touching the mud below. Sometimes the shutters sort of like bank against the bridge. This place is fairly, at least this little spot is a little drier than the rest. Let's see what else. There is a makeshift bed of straw and hay, sort of here off to the side, where the hay is sort of curled and starting to muddied and starting to rot due to like the moisture in the air. Someone was living up here in the past.
Can we tell how
Does it-
recent?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it about the same amount of wear as the bridge?
Different material, so definitely ages differently, but it is old, very old.
He'll ask the group, pointing at the bridge, when do you think that was made? And why? Surely to cross that, right? But when did this place sink?
Do we remember when this place sank, or were we not told that?
It's sort of in the millennia ago, like numerous millennia. So historians can't fully give.
The date?
It's almost like how we know. I remember there was a news story about how like the dinosaurs were taken out, but no one can really fully tell you like on this exact date, on this exact time. They can give you like a rough estimate, like roughly around how many thousands of years ago. Historians can just give you a rough estimate, and since it's so far back in the past, it's hard to tell.
But it definitely seems like the big disaster happened, and then sometime like straw is not going to stick around for 1,000 years.
Mhm.
So, like, sometime more recently, somebody was here. And, you know, this bridge was obviously built after the disaster. It wouldn't have made any sense to exist
Yeah.
before the disaster, right? So there are ages. Because my background is archaeologist, I do have historical knowledge. It says, can identify original purpose and the builders of a ruin or dungeon. I mean, it kind of just feels like the builders were like just like the people that were here later, but anything else that pings as I kind of look around the bridge and the straw and
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I think your archaeologist brain starts to click in, sort of like you've seen old civilizations and how things get repurposed by new civilizations. I think you get a sense that, yeah, long time ago, years countless, something took and sank a lot of the building here. And you look at the water, or at least you start to remember the water that's in your pack right now. And something sustained some of the wood here. Something is sustaining a little bit of the environment, shifting and changing. And you sort of feel that slow call of things change. Rot doesn't always have to be rot. Rot can always be something different. But you, with your mind, you start to look through it and you're like, yes, the event happened. And from the bridge, that tells me that there were survivors. And more than likely, we're trying to survive. From what? How? From the environment? From maybe something more personal? It's hard to tell, obviously, from just looking at a bridge and the environment around you. But civilization tried to live on. For how long, it's hard to tell. But I think you get a sense like bad things happen. Some people survived. And then something is altering the environment that is making it... it's acting less like environment should.
Okay, then yeah, I do think I will relay that basic idea that we know about the great disaster, and then it makes sense that there would have been survivors trying to persist after that, but I do not believe the timing entirely makes sense. Some force or fact of this place is making things age peculiarly or not quite as they should. It's definitely worth further study, but I don't think we can judge correctly how long ago this place was abandoned, or even if it is fully abandoned.
Understood.
Can you jump down to the other level?
There's like a little stairwell that goes down. Looks sort of a ladder that goes down to. It's in the middle of a barn. There are stables. Some of them where the wood is cracked, paint chipped. There are some stables where you see that there are some of the water's collected and is pooled here, and there are several what you see like almost like a beast of burden bones that are currently floating, crusted over with barnacles and algae.
She just looks through each of the stables to see if she finds anything. Not touching the water.
Yeah, I think you start to go through them. You find one of the lantern's top half, sort of where that bulb is, as well as the shell around it. From the outside has almost something like a wind has cracked it and shoved it into one of the stables through one of the walls in one of the stables right now.
I don't want to touch it.
You look at it and the glass has there's a small hole, like a shatter, and it's just sitting in a pool of mixed seawater and this green colored water.
I was like, hey, Laga, you want to come try something? I was like...
Yeah, I'll come look. It's just what looks to be the top part of one of these lanterns, right?
Yeah, so physically, one of the lanterns, like a full-on... Like if we were going to a street light, The top of the streetlight has severed off, has flung through the building, through one of the walls, and has fallen into one of the stables that is somewhat filled with seawater. And due to whatever impact occurred, the lantern's glass broke, and some of that green liquid is now just sitting in this pool.
Mm-hmm. I think I look at Phoenix and say, what did you have in mind here?
No, maybe if you do a spell or something, I don't know if we should back up further or something.
Yeah, perhaps it is time to find out one way or the other. I will need 10 minutes, but this seems like a place of decent shelter. How many feet can we move away from... I mean, there's waters everywhere, but we want to move to the relative safety of the nearest corner, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, we could go back above, and then you could do whatever you're gonna do.
Above implies we might fall if something happens. I prefer to be on solid ground.
None of this is really solid.
I think you could safely get like maybe 50 to 55 feet away.
Okay, yeah, we're the driest corner of the barn.
Yeah, underneath the cupola, whatever the thing's called, so you can definitely go underneath it.
And I'm gonna spend 10 minutes to ritual cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
I'm going to. Does anything happen during that 10 minutes, or when I cast the spell?
You cast the spell. The LCD screen turns off.
Okay.
Back. And nothing else sort of affects around you.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. You're in the barn right now.
Uh-oh.
Something kills you.
You're in the death barn.
You die.
The barn of doom.
You guys are in the corner close to the cupola. In a stable across from you, maybe like 15 feet away, you hear something bubbling, like burp, 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 burp. And then finally you look over and see that something is trying to push something out, and because all the mud, it is just constantly like someone's got like chocolate milk and just has got their straw and just going brr, 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 right now.
I don't like
poke
that.
it. I want to poke it.
No.
Perhaps the servant should do the poking.
Yeah, let the thing that can't die do the poking.
Is there any like farm equipment that like a
Pickaxe,
plow,
not pickaxe,
shovel.
here?
I have a pickaxe.
I don't want to
and
use
a
my
sword.
stuff.
I can poke it.
There's a pitchfork and things you can use.
Pitchfork. That's the thing to do. Hey. All right, Unseen Servant, grab the pitchfork. And so because of the weird Salal nature of this Unseen Servant, it's like the pitchfork has always had the capability of just moving.
Oh, cool.
It moves in a weird way, like it has like 3 long spindly legs, and it's kind of walking itself over to where the bubbling is. And I'll stick the non-metal end in there and kind of like poke around and try to see what wants to come out.
Like a little, like stirring a soup bowl, like a thick
disgusting
broth
soup
of mud and rock and old rotted wood. Eventually, you're able, the Unseen Servant, or at least the enforced Salal will of this pitchfork, is able to clear a little bit of the mud from where the bubbling is coming from, and then you hear ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you hear music come from, and you...
Oh, I'm going to it. I want to see this. I'm peering in. What's down there?
There is a golden horn connected to this metallic brick, like this box.
It's a record player. It's a phonograph.
Yeah. I'll pull it out.
We don't know that, but that's what that is.
I was kind of hoping it would be an orchestra of fish, but this works too.
We thought it was like a Little Mermaid situation.
Dang it!
The whole world over there.
You pull it out.
No.
Yeah, it's essentially like a gramophone, which I don't think is too out of the ordinary in terms of the time frame we're in right now. Like, probably really rich people have gramophones, sort of the records and discs, because it's not using like electricity. You can
wind it,
and we do have Arcanotech as well, a little bit of that. But this thing is small. It's like a personalized gramophone with no crank handle. There's no place to put a disc, a record. It's like a personalized gramophone.
Maybe it went off when your spell went off.
It's another device like the frame that is responding to magic. So it seems like it was already doing that at the casting of the spell, right? The presence of the unseen servant is not making it turn on and off. It's the casting of the spell that does
the casting of the spell.
Okay.
Cast all the spells in the stalls.
I want the unseen servant to grab this thing and take it with us.
Okay.
But
now
it
you
is
have
making noise.
Yeah,
Right?
the whole thing.
Probably not good for
Big
like
band.
the creepy crawlies.
Well, this certainly seems valuable. So I have another potentially tricky question, EM. So the other part of my historical knowledge, I can determine the monetary value of art objects more than a century old.
Cool.
Are these art objects, and are these more than a century old?
I mean, definitely over a century old.
Okay.
I think you realize that is that this is a different make and construction that you've probably seen in your lifetime as well as it does sort of combine with a lot of your known knowledge in terms of old civilizations. Value. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that might just apply to like art objects as defined in the DM guide. So I don't know. If I have no frame of reference, maybe I just can't with this one, But
I would say, let's say for in the future and how we can maybe handle this is that you would at least need to learn some information about the civilization to know maybe what value you can place in it, because anyone can find an old pot somewhere, and then so you will sell it off to some place for cheap when you could have gone to like someone who's knowledgeable about the civilization, can tell you the history, and then go, this is very valuable because of X, Y, and Z. You're still learning about this place, so you do know that it is at least over a century old. There is some value to it to those who want to buy, this particular thing. You just can't really place the amount until you can get a little more information.
Okay. I mean, I'm just gonna have the unseen servant carry this thing. Does somebody want to do a cantrip to turn the music off? Or do we want to send this guy 60 feet ahead of us and attract attention and see what happens? Both are options.
One is a chaos option. How late is it getting?
You guys have spent maybe another hour. So what did we say last time? Like 4:30. So now it's like 5:30.
Yeah.
I mean, we have. It's like the non-existent sun still out. Like, is it semi-light, or is it just like getting darker?
The glimmering from the edges of like a rain cloud around you, a storm cloud. Yeah, you could still see a little bit of ray of sunlight off in the horizon.
I mean, I guess I could go ahead. I would definitely turn it off at nighttime, though.
Right. Let's bring a little music to this wonderful place.
Do we really want to disturb anything that's still living here? I feel like maybe if we could do more without calling attention, yeah.
I mean, you don't want to indulge Legati's game.
I'm fine either way. Either way is interesting. Either way would have interesting results.
We meet in the middle, we'll look around, and then we can play it in the morning and see what the hell happens.
Sure.
Sure.
All right. Somebody want to cantrip and switch these things off?
She lights her hand on fire.
What's the obvious exit from this place?
There is obviously the barn doors in the front have gone away. You can look outwards and you can see that there's like this little patch of land where there are several little buildings. A lot of them look in way more decrepit state than the building that you were in, both the barn and the bakery. Yeah, it's like looking at a decently sized park, like that size. It's not a lot. Like you can walk this space in maybe half an hour.
Okay.
Are we still
That
sinking?
sounds like what we should do.
Sinking. It's still muddy. Yeah.
I was gonna say, should Phoenix run it, but I think it's gonna be at half speed. I'm gonna walk.
Yeah, if we stood here and Phoenix ran around the whole place, could we watch her around the whole place?
You absolutely can.
Oh, I do. Let me do it.
I mean, that would not occur to Legati yet, but do you want to suggest that?
I mean, I did suggest when we land that I could run the whole place,
Yeah.
but I felt like that was a bad idea. But I mean, this is a very controlled space, so I could
And if-
try.
Yeah, if anything hostile emerges, you will be best equipped to run away from it, right?
And we can meet you
Sure.
halfway. You know,
Okay,
we'll see
assess
you.
your
We'll see
support,
you.
But yeah.
Oh, men after my own heart. All right, so she, I think she lights up a little bit, hoping that some of this mud will turn to clay, so she doesn't have a hard time trying to zip around, and will go as fast as she can to whip around this place.
What's your speed?
50
And then you're using an action to dash.
100.
Okay.
So technically 50.
And you're not using any key points to step of the wind, correct?
Does she want to be
Save that for when you
flashy?
get chased.
Save that for when I get chased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will listen to Legati.
I'll say that you go clockwise, going sort of like the west end, going north and to the east and then back south. There are a couple of rocks and buildings. You can go around them, or if you'd like to make me an acrobatics check, you can probably cut some time by jumping through some of the buildings here.
Acrobatics check. Hopefully
She
this
really
one
is
won't.
fast. That's amazing. Just like watching.
Yeah, I'll stand and watch with Legati, just like,
Very
22.
impressive.
22?
You redeemed yourself.
We watch a scene as... Hold on, where's my...
That's what she does. Oh, so I'm a little aerodynamic because Mike likes this flavor. She kind of puts her hair into like this mohawk that stands straight up and then takes off.
Each footstep leaving a little bit of an imprint, sort of a burnt clay, as you run forward. Definitely fighting the mud,
Yeah.
but with 22 acrobatics check, able to hop and jump from rock point to side of a building that is kind of crumbling a little bit. You sort of kick off, avoiding of the floor as much as you can, landing on something, rolling, jumping, getting to one end, sort of going onto your knees, start to feel the mud, and place your hand on fire and rocket your way forward. You're passing by old abandoned houses and structures and abodes and other small businesses, like you see a sign hanging, reads like a post office. Passing another place, used to be an old library with everything just sort of sunken down in, like almost just the roof you see. What is your AC?
Uh-oh.
great question, always.
Yes, always. Considering she doesn't wear armor. 15.
You get to the north, so you're going west to the north, further north, zigzagging through multiple buildings. And just as you turn a corner and run, something you feel like wet mud splat against your back. You look back in this bullet time moment, and you see two large, 4-foot claws
Shit.
eject from the mud, snap, missing the back of your heel. Then a second one snaps, and you're able to, whoa, shit! With the acrobatics check as well, you're able to grab onto something, swing, and get off the muddy structure. And you see that there are 3 sets of these beady eyes and eye stalks, as these crustacean-like seafood creatures, large, how shrimps are almost elongated a little bit,
Yeah.
like a lobster. As
How big?
ejected outwards, you see sort of the mandibles.
Oh, cool. Dinner. And I run back to the group.
They start to
How long
clam.
has she gone for?
I mean, we see this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like how
yeah.
far and how long?
Running around 50 feet constantly,
Minute.
yeah, a minute and a half.
Okay. She's like, wow.
Because you also did a really good acrobatics
You
here.
see me zipping, then you just hear, shit.
More creatures start to eject from the mud, where you see Phoenix just sort of fuck the making a rounds. Let's go straight back, heading directly south. and there is about 6 of these lobsters crawling over one another.
Time to go.
I'm gonna pull out my crossbow.
Yeah, shoot them at the extreme range and let's see what we can do.
Well, yeah. How far away? Actually, I have a
We
longbow
have
too.
time to prepare here.
Yeah, I would say
Weird ass. Could I technically light one of those arrows on fire?
you'd probably be next to. You would have to get next to Arrow to do that.
No, that's fine. I'm just wondering if it will singe his arrow or it will go off.
I would say if you utilize like an action, you're giving up an action, we can say that can be done.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Yeah, but right now Phoenix is running. She's closing distance, and for where she was, where things started to go south, was like maybe 300 feet, and is quickly gaining speed. 50 feet every 6 seconds, just going shit. These things aren't as fast as you, Phoenix, even in the mud. But they are clamoring. It's almost like an ocean of lobsters.
Yeah, I'll start sending arrows that way. Not intended. First shot is 17 plus 5, 20.
What's the range of your weapon?
For a longbow, it's 150 to 600.
Oh my god! So disadvantage for the 600.
Are they
beyond.
600 feet out?
They're
Well, no,
300
300
away,
feet. So
okay.
beyond 150,
And
it's
closing,
disadvantage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what that means? I've never known. I'm gonna be honest.
No worries. Yeah. So essentially, your bow has the effective, like, can hit up to 600, but it's more effective between, within the 150.
Gotcha. That's still not bad. That was instead of, I don't know what I said the first time, 17 plus 5? The
Mhm.
second one was 16 plus 5. So.
Oh.
Nice.
6 plus 5, so 21, I believe. The
Yeah.
bolt goes out, the arrow right by you, Phoenix. You see it.
Just
Doppler
dodge.
effect, goes way faster. Strikes one of the lobster creatures. Is not down, but you see it sticking in one of, like, it has like the armor plating of a lobster, sort of like sticking in one of the flesh parts, and it's moving slower as now like trying to move half its body, trying to avoid moving the injured part that you've done. But there's like 5 extra that are currently moving quick.
I'm gonna look at Lagati. Do you think we should do something about this?
Well, the shooting was a good start. She can clearly outrun them, and so we have time to think when we're observing the situation.
Like, still just holding my longbow, grabbing another arrow and like notching it, but not pulling it back yet. Like,
Perhaps once they get too close to us, we begin backing up in the direction of the barn. But before then, I'm going to take the. Don't want to lose it. What else can I give this thing that will make noise? What can I give my unseen servant that will make noise? And I can take the valuable thing potentially.
Oh, okay.
Nothing. Is there any like just garbage around here that would make some noise?
There's
or
like stone.
2 rocks to bang together.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm putting this thing in a humanoid form. There's no reason it needs to be in a humanoid form. It's gonna pick up as many rocks as it possibly can and just start banging them together noisily. I'm going to take the phonograph and put that in the bag, and I'm going to send it very slowly because it only moves 15 feet around, but it's going in their direction, and it's going to be a distraction and try to lead some of them off in another direction.
Oh, it's like it's peeling off in a different
Once
direction.
it gets to them, it's going to start moving off to the side and see if it can break up the group a little bit.
Okay. I'll say that'll be a roll on my end. We'll say it's against your spell DC. See if they can maybe, if that attracts them enough.
Yeah.
So what is your spell DC? I'll make the roll now, and then we can play the scene.
13.
Doesn't matter. A very bad roll.
Okay.
Let me see. I'll roll.
I feel like Phoenix is slightly thinking about food though while she's doing this. Like, should I kill and eat it?
So there are 5 left. There's a 6 behind that's slower now, but there are 5 currently not keeping pace, but definitely more fast than the other one. Another arrow from Arrow.
are they within 150 yet, or are they still a bit farther?
They're 300. You've moved 50. We do one action. We'll say if you wanted to wait until Because also
Yeah.
Legati's also spending time to like bonus action, moving, moving. Your own guy. Yeah, they can. Right now we're at the 150 point.
Okay, then I'll start firing once they get close enough that I'm comfortable with.
That would mean Phoenix if they're at 150, you're back at the party.
Oh, hi!
Hey.
Welcome back. That's 18 to hit.
18. One other one. Now you have so I say 6. Now you have 4 currently clambering over. They get to a point where the smashing rocks of the invisible servant start to move off. I'll say in an east direction. You get 2 of the attention of 2 of the lobsters.
Nice.
As they start to go into the mud and start to clamber over one another. You have 2 currently still going after you guys.
All right.
Hello again.
Phoenix, did you see anything interesting other than the lobster creatures?
There's a post office, a library. What else did I see, DM? I was interested in the library until, Snappy Snappy came out.
Yeah, it was just residential places. It didn't seem like there was any distinguishable
It's just
locale.
It
Little
has occurred to me
houses.
that it might be worth going by every single one of these buildings and casting cantrips repeatedly to see if anything turns on inside the buildings. We would have to deal with and he's gesturing at the slowly moving
Yeah, there's
mud
the
monsters
the
coming
2,
towards us.
the ones that are fairly decently moving, and then there's the 2 behind that have been struck with arrows that are struggling.
I will be a help once they are closer than 60 feet. Until then, I'm just gesturing at the bow and arrow.
I feel like they'd be good dinner, but then I don't know if we want to eat anything that's been in this water. So
I would love to try it.
fascinating.
They look like big lobsters to me.
Oh,
Okay.
we have to kill them first, then we can consider it.
definitely don't stay by the shore when we sleep tonight. Maybe in the barn.
Barn seemed nice.
Yeah, if you want to take another shot, you can.
Yes, Blaze. 19.
19. Now you have one that's actively moving quicker. All the other 3 are injured and moving. I'll say they're within 60 feet at this point.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if we need to be an initiative or whatever once they're in 60 feet, but I want to toll the dead on whatever the first one is. I don't think I can get one that's injured because it wouldn't be the first one there, but it'll still do something.
Okay. What kind of roll is that?
They make a wisdom save.
Natural 8.
Okay. They take 1d8 necrotic damage. That's 3 necrotic damage to the closest one.
Screaming, moving the eyes. You start to see the eyes like starting to like shiver a little bit. 2 of them have gone into the water where your unseen servant has like moved. And eventually you look over to the right and you see they have caught up and now are currently jump onto the clamoring sound and are confused as you feel your unseen servant gone.
Yeah, that he did his job.
These things aren't bright, and there's more survival than there is like tactic. So I'm gonna roll to see if they will.
Are they attracted to fire?
I mean, you did catch their eye, but you're not sure if that's because you're something to eat or that's because you have a fire hair.
Curious.
The 2 that were going after the invisible servant, not smart. Believe maybe their prey is further out into sea, start to go into the water. Those 2 are gone. The 3 that were slowed down finally catch up to the 4th. That isn't stopped moving within the 60 feet and is currently just screaming, feeling something it's never felt before. Eventually it sort of corrects itself and you have 4 that are injured. That still see you as food that they have not had in a while.
Are there pieces
One
of
of us is food, for sure.
Thanks.
I meant them. They're the
Are there like pieces of like, I don't know, wood or dilapidated anything around? She's gonna quickly like gather some in front of her. Like she'll run a few feet out, like probably 20 feet out, and then just light it all on fire to see if she can get them to come towards it.
Roll me an intimidation check.
Probably not gonna be very high. Let's see. My intimidation is -1. 9.
9. A lot of the wood here is not fully dry. It's very wet and soaked wood. So the fire that it's arcane fire.
Yeah.
And it does alight a little bit, but it's like a small little campfire. And it's not a blazing inferno that would scare these creatures away as they start to split around the campfire you built. And now they're about 20 feet away.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch to my crossbow. Fire at them that way.
Okay.
Damn.
Oh, 11.
11. Unfortunately, bounces off one of their plated armors.
Are we just going around in a circle?
Yeah.
I will go
Anyone
up
else
to
wants to
one-
take
I will
a
go up
chance?
to one and whack one.
I'm backing up, so I'm. They will deal with my companions first, but
Back in the barn.
I'll do spells
Oh
from
yay,
the
we're
back.
sacrifices! Yeah.
21.
21. They're already injured right now. So, Phoenix, you ready yourself. I'm
doing
reels
this with my
up.
quarterstaff, so she's gonna try and spear the thing.
It reels up, brings down both claws, and you're able to grab the quarterstaff through the neck, and it
Sweet.
falls.
Dinner.
Legati?
Yeah, I'm backing up 20 feet, and then I'm tolling the dead, one of the injured ones. So there's another funeral bell ringing in the ear as the pull of the Salal brings this thing closer to death, hopefully.
Yeah. With a 10 to the save, how does the Toll the Dead take out one of these guys?
Yeah, I think it's this weird dissonant ringing bell, and I think that it causes cracks all along the carapace of this thing. And I think that its insides are like vibrating, like they were exposed to really high volume noise, and start oozing out of its shell.
Okay. Just through the shell, through the armored plating, it sort of can't move and sort of falls face first into the mud, and it's just twitching, oozing out on the sides. There was 2 left over that were not dispatched. One got a natural 1 on you, Phoenix, because you're the one that run to forward to do this. The other one got an 18 plus some bonuses.
Ooh.
So that's going to hit. You're going to take 4 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
So that was they're going to be. We're not doing initiative, but essentially that was their motion as they got close to you. Everyone else has now a moment to react and act, I should say.
I mean, I will
So-
hit the one that got me.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's only 2 left, right?
There's only 2 left.
And they're 20 feet out from me.
Yeah.
Okay.
17.
17. Once again, with the quarterstaff, one falls, cresting through it, and the head slides off.
I'll switch again from crossbow to my short sword and meet them at the 20 feet. Try to attack it that way.
Make me attack.
Keyword try, that was an 8.
8. It rushes forward, and it's been sort of like on high legs, sort of crawling as much as it can, sort of like if it was ready to crawl over one of its companions. It goes down, and a majority of the shell is facing you. As you slash through it, you just cut across hardened shell. But, Legati, you are up.
Toll the dead on the injured guy.
Nope. That's going to be a 12.
Okay, 13 is the save they need, so that's going
This
to be
one.
8 necrotic damage. This time, I realized that the phonograph will be going on and off every time
It is. Yeah.
So this time the music comes on, and then the music turns into this like overwhelming funeral march. And I think
love
it's
that.
like the music solidifies and becomes a spear that fires through this thing. and kills it.
Vibrations in the air.
Yeah.
Until you start to see, like, it's like that thing where you see, like,
Organ
it's-
playing.
Yeah.
you know, like in Predator, where you can, like, in the movie, you can kind of see the outline. It's somewhat translucent, but you could still see it's there.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
the translucent spear that just starts to expand and goes out. Last one lies down, slides and dies. These things have looked like they've been dispatched.
I'm going to control flames to turn off the phonograph again. And make the double the area of bright light and dim light cast by the shitty little fire, and make it bright and intimidating so nobody comes to mess with us. Hopefully,
Very fair.
Do I know what these creatures are? Like, they're not lobsters, right? What are they?
They're mutated lobsters.
They have the appearance of definitely like the back end of a lobster, with sort of the heavy clawed. I know both lobsters and crabs have sort of like large claws. One though is like almost extended. The other one's almost rounded. It has almost like the claw features of a crab with sort of the back end of a lobster. Not sure if maybe it's a variant or, I mean, you've never seen this before, but there are parts of the body where you're like, okay, I can kind of see this is more like this is more like that.
I'll say, I think maybe, I don't know if we want to necessarily drag back a corpse, but leave one intact.
She's already like
Wait.
taking the shell off of one when Legati did the fire.
Yeah,
she's
he's
just like
I'm fine
gutting
with
it.
eating most of them. Just let's leave one intact for a little bit.
so you're like prepping it to eat it. Okay.
She's good
I
at
think
hunting.
Legati is watching, and Legati is rubbing his beard.
What?
Legati says, I will not stop you if you wish to do this. I just feel obligated to say, it does seem like this place is touched by the Salal, is touched by the transformation water that we know about. And these things, for all we know, have been eating it, living in it, drinking it for many, many years.
DM question.
I, for one, would be fascinated to see what would happen if you were to eat it, and I will encourage that action if that is what you wish to do. But my moral compass says that no one should be subjected to transformation against their will unless they are actively attempting to do harm.
That's fair. That sucks. And she drops the corpse and like pops a bead of nourishment in her mouth. I'm getting really sick of these things.
But, yeah.
Another local question for my gazing pool boy. Do people drink from it? Does he know what would happen if someone were to drink from it?
I think you've heard tall tales
Okay.
of people drinking from it. Things like your mother would tell you. It's like, you know,
Don't drink the water.
if you drink the water, or like almost like the old sort of like old school Silent Generation kind of threats back when like kids, where it's like, if you keep acting up, I'm gonna get some of this pool water and I'm gonna scrub your mouth with it, and you're gonna have a frog throat. And it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, geez, you don't talk to your kid that way anymore. But yeah,
Okay.
I think you've heard telltale, like it will change you, and
Okay.
you're not fully you've never seen it yourself though.
Okay. He will reconsider when Logati mentions that they are probably containing the same water, and be like, yeah, actually.
There's a fight between, that's probably not a good idea, and I'm hungry, but fine.
For Legati, it's a fight between, God, I really want to drink a whole bunch of this water and see what happens, but I have a lot of stuff I want to learn first. But I think Legati, ever since he learned about the Salal and he knows about the gazing pool, I think he believes his end game is going for a swim in the gazing pool. And drinking its fill and seeing what happens.
I love it.
It seems too clear, right? The Salal is the force of transformation that underlines everything, and there is a bunch of water that causes seemingly random transformations. Gonna do some studying for a few years, but that's my retirement plan.
End game. We'll see what happens.
Turns out it's a frog. It's like, what happened?
Then instead of eating it, he will instead like drag one of the more intact corpses over by the fire, and like sit by it to kind of like warm up a little bit. And he's gonna pull out his journal and start trying to sketch it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'll say for the easeability and sake of this little piece of land here, if you wanted to once again reinvestigate, and if that was something that you guys do after a bit of a reprieve here, the library as well as sort of the post office fully sunken within the mud. Any paper that was down here has fully disintegrated. You get a sense that you've found everything you can in this piece of land.
Even if Phoenix does a run around and turns her cantrip on and off real fast,
Yeah.
not gonna get any more music or anything. Like
Unfortunately
that.
not. No.
Shucks. All right.
I wrote down a few things that could be found, but for this beginning stage or this little beginning island, that was a possibility. You do not. And
so I guess once we've established that, then it's probably getting to be kind of dark now. So maybe back to the barn for the night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anything's nocturnal around here, and I kind of don't want to find out.
We can keep watch.
On the upper floor of the barn is as safe a place as I think we have seen since we've landed here.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys make do with whatever, implements you can to make this a little bit more hospitable, but it definitely is a little bit more dry than the muddy floor below, as well as the exposure to the elements around. We all hunkered down for a long rest, and for us as players, we're going to take a quick break. So, see you guys in a bit. And we're back. Currently have the little one walking around. So if you happen to see this guy.
A little gremlin.
Yeah. When building the Lone Guard, as well as the lighthouse that sits upon it, the points that you've seen, the buildings with bridges, the amphitheater, the church, the intact building, and yada, yada, yada. I did mark that there are places that are obviously safe for sleep. And you guys chose the barn, which is safe to sleep. So maybe through some night watches, you guys take turns seeing, once again, the shadow. Harder to see now in the darkness.
You didn't leave any trees for me, but I will sleep on the roof. So screw you. I'll find a way.
It's uncomfortable.
Totally is.
Yeah, exposed to the elements. But you guys are able to have a long rest here within the barn. Another thing that I can present you guys is you don't have to go through the whole trek of crossing the bridge, going into the bakery and going down. If you wanted to get back to where you came from, basically backtracking is a little easier now. You can do that immediately. We'll do a little bit of video game logic as you guys are able to get to like the spot you have explored so far.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Morning comes. Probably some beads of nourishment. How much more do you have left?
2 I ate one.
You have
No,
2. Oh no.
You okay? What happened?
Quick pause.
How many days has it been? It's been 2 nights, right?
Yeah, I've been eating a ration every day, and I've eaten
yeah.
two. Yeah, if you count them at night, then it's been 2.
Okay, perfect. Because I'm also saving my beat of nourishment.
I ate mine the first day, but
Yeah.
rations.
Love it. I don't know what I'm saving it for. It's like one of those like special loot things. It's like I can't use it yet.
It's gonna be the secret to the final boss of the campaign. It's gotta give it a bead of nourishment.
Might be. Oh.
You locked it over there, I think, dude. Hold on, let me go get the bear.
Ran, fell with a cookie in his mouth. Just
Oh,
slipped.
little friend.
Yeah. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so you guys I heard a little bit because I had my headphones in, but it was travel day and a half to get there. Essentially, spent the night, so it's been like 2.5 days so far in this trek.
How is it? One ration a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've had 2 dinners.
I like how Nick, you were like, "Hey, mine the first day."
Yeah. It's
All
a
right.
weird beat of food. I'm not gonna wait.
Must try.
I'm running the portion that like I've already ran, but staying away from the edges. But she is up crack early because nothing stops her.
We return. Kids fall. It happens.
With a whole cookie in there.
Yeah, we're back. You guys have woke up out of the barn, trekked your way across the bridge down to the first floor of the. Okay, first floor of the bakery, and now back to the shoreline that you guys arrived in before. You guys are a block away from this house. It looks like a house, like a residential house, 2-story house.
That seems like the obvious place to go.
Okay. You walk closer. There is once again sort of flanked by 2 of those lit green lanterns. It is like a small, very much like a New York style thin home. It's 2 stories. It's like a small size in terms of like the footprint it gives is like it's fairly small, but it does go up 1 story. Or 2 stories, I should say, in total. There is a small, like, family crest etched in one of the bricks on the side of the door. The door has been shot out, like the weather has rotted away on the hinges, and the door has fallen in. From your location, outside looking in, you can see there's a long hallway that continues forward. There's a staircase right in eye view. And the room almost splits to left and right, the left going into a kitchen and the right going into a living room. But you guys are outside right now.
And I'm sorry, is the it looks like there's a bridge. Do we have to go through the house to get to the bridge, or is the bridge outside the house?
The bridge is, oh yeah, that's a good point. You need to continue on this little hallway. So continue on the hallway. Left is the kitchen. Right is the living room. To the side of this hallway is stairwell that goes upwards to the upstairs. But if you continue on this hallway, the back end of the house has been blown out, and there's a bridge that goes across.
All right.
Go check out the living room.
Yeah, does somebody want to stand in the middle and do a cantrip? None of mine are. I worry about shape water, and I need a flame for control flames. But dancing lights would be marvelous. Yeah,
you could do it, Arrow. I can stop
Sure.
lighting myself on fire.
Yeah,
Seems a little
while
heavy.
Arrow is doing dancing lights, I'm going to be like listening and looking around and trying to see if anything reacts to the magic.
Roll a perception check. You guys are still outside, right? Or you've gone inside?
Inside.
I think we're going inside for
Inside,
this,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Okay.
Can I give Legati advantage if I'm helping? On perception.
So this is what happens.
Mhm.
You guys step into this small home.
Uh-oh.
You've entered in that spot where you're past, like where people would hang their hats, shoes, and jackets. And you can see left of you, there is sort of a small dining area with a kitchen that you can see like half of the kitchen. And then a large living room to the right. Walking in, you hear heavy footsteps within the kitchen. You can't see anything right now. But what is the reaction to still cast the spell?
Well, probably not.
No.
I think
Um.
I'll just get low to the ground.
Yeah. Hide.
Okay. Stealth checks, everyone.
Feels good. Nat 20. Plus 5.
Oh my god.
Feels good.
You rolled like really good on stealth the last 2 times. What the hell's my stealth? Oh shit. 18.
25,
I'm
18.
terribly sorry.
Uh-oh.
I got a 3.
Oh.
3.
It's okay, Legati. I'll protect you.
Well, with nat 20, I'll say that counts as 2 successes. We have another success and then 1 failure. So as a group, you guys did fairly well.
All right.
So nat 20 saved your butt.
All right.
You stop right as you step in, the creaking of the wood causing it to almost echo in the small space. And you hear... You hear something gurgling, like salt water in the throat. Beyond the stairwell, not to where the bridge is, where the blown out back wall of the house. Walking from the left side where the kitchen was, you see dragging steel, leather wrappings that have aged tremendously. What was once a white shirt is now split, and the seams have waterlogged, and it's now more brown than it is white, with sort of blue leathers. Skin that is currently flaking off in this sort of ethereal green. It looks humanoid with its jaw fully exposed. You can see the jawbones and sort of the bottom half of the skeleton of this undead creature with sort of moss growing off of it and seaweed. As it just goes... You hear the heavy footsteps of this heavy creature with all this armament walk into the living room.
I think Ligotti's in the back, so you guys take the lead.
Yeah, like Arrow just like watches it, and then we'll slowly walk back to Phoenix and Ligotti like,
I think Phoenix just puts her hood up and is okay, we came in. Could we technically like back out and go around?
Yeah, I mean, you would have to swim a little bit in the water to get to the bridge.
Don't like that idea.
I could maybe freeze part of the water, but maybe like
Could we climb the roof?
maybe we could set a trap for this thing,
wait,
right?
Arrow's kind of like hush his voice to speak to them, and get like super close. I think I can do something to obscure its vision in this area. If you can just bolt in a straight line to the bridge.
Look at Ligotti. Are you good with bolting in a straight line?
I mean, it should obscure the area enough that it won't even see you.
Wait, and he looks at the hallway and he goes like this. He's like, all right, I have memorized the layout of the furniture in the hallway.
Yeah.
So in this case, I will be. I mean, he's talking too loud. He's being quiet. In this case, I will be good at bolting.
There you go. I'll follow you because you memorized the line.
Keep your hands on each other and you can go. I'm good in no vision, so I'll be right behind you.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you guys are too powerful.
We're level 3, man.
What are you casting?
I will change color again as I cast Fog Cloud in the middle of the room.
The eye turns a bright blue. Fog cloud starts to bellow, and as you cast the spell,
Oh, shit.
Here we go.
in the kitchen, you hear something mechanical whirling, like.
Want that?
I'll keep like my arm out to keep them from moving forward because I want to see if this thing is attracted to the sound first.
You hear something quicker. The fog cloud has emerged and you can't see. It's like further in because you guys went outside. But you definitely hear the something girdling and heading directly into the kitchen.
I'll wait till it's past the kitchen and then motion for them to go in.
Okay. We will keep those stealth checks as you guys go through the fog cloud. Because the fog cloud, we'll say the fog cloud definitely helps with the sort of the sneaking pass as you going through. Ligotti, definitely using your memory of going 2 steps, 3 steps, move forward.
Yeah.
There's a small table just sort of edge around that.
Don't keep that.
Yeah. Blind vision for you. Arrow, as you're walking forward, just the footsteps you can tell where things are moving across. And Phoenix being led by either Arrow or Ligotti. You hear the gurgling getting sound closer and closer as you start to cross the path of where it currently is. As it is looking around, you can still hear the just the sound of something mechanical in the kitchen that you cannot see due to the fog cloud. But eventually you exit the fog cloud and you are in the middle of this bridge.
I'm gonna keep that cloud up until I'm past the 120-foot range. It can just stay back there.
Yeah. It leads into a larger 2-story, like, well-to-do home. The hole in the wall where this bridge leads into is, you could see, like, almost like a what do they call it? It's like a mud room where people would, like, from the outside would come in and sort of like wipe their feet with. So there are like small places where there's like a mat that's been long disheveled, but you could see that there used to be one. And just like these odd metal containers off to the side. Yeah, you keep moving until you hit past the 120. You've gone across the bridge and you're like maybe 90 feet from where you've pointed the spell. But you've entered into this room or into this house, and you feel that you have a little bit more cover now.
Okay, then I'll drop the spell.
Okay. Keeping
You said
stealth.
there were metal crates?
Yeah, there's like these metal containers. How do I explain this? The opening for these containers, there is a circular, like, porthole on the top with the glass. And as you look through, there is just a bunch of rotted meat inside.
Ew.
Moving on. Never mind, I was gonna say loot, but I don't think I want it.
I want that thing in the kitchen, but get that on our way back. Maybe Phoenix can grab it and run on our way back.
She just slowly looks at you.
I think since he saw you running, I think it had like the wheels have been turning in Legati's head. It's like, how fast can a humanoid person possibly move? And he's been doing calculations, and that's going to be a consideration for the future. Is how fast can someone actually run?
Love to test it.
You see that there in this room, there are numerous bowls on the floor with long, faded away names. Like you can see there used to be lettering.
Oh.
How many?
3.
3, okay. Keep an eye out for zombie pets in here.
I didn't even think about that, but that's a fair point. Should we or should we not do a spell?
I really want to do a spell, man. I want to know.
There's two levels to the house?
There's 2 levels. You're on the first floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume we don't hear anything big and thuddy like the other guy.
Perception check.
Yeah, one perception check.
Okay.
We can say all of you guys are all on high alert. This definitely calls for everyone doing it.
It would make sense for there to also be ghoul things here. So
23.
Certainly not on high alert. That was a 1.
Okay.
Plus a 1.
You're
So
traumatized by the meat.
that is a 17.
17 and you said 21?
23.
22. Damn. You start to slowly go through the house, going through kind of like a laundry room where there are like places you can hang clothes from wet clothes, wicker baskets that long have sort of released their tension is now sort of splayed out on the floor. You guys exit out beyond around the corner. You don't hear anything, and you see the front door kind of toward the southwest, sort of this long chamber that leads outwards to the front door. And with your 2 rolls, you hear some, like, they sound like a suction cup, like soft, very soft. And you start to pinpoint and you look up. And you see this enlarged starfish on the ceiling right above the door.
Oh, shit.
It is dark blue, and as it moves, you see the suction cups are these bright yellow. Just
just gestures towards the door.
What are you guys looking at? Oh!
Is it moving in our direction, or is it above us, or where is
It's
it
right-
relative to us?
yeah. You guys are like 30 feet away from it,
Okay.
behind a staircase, like the back of a staircase. Like you've gone around the staircase and sort of looked at it.
Yeah.
How big?
You're looking down this sort of hallway or this grand hall to the entrance, like an antechamber type of situation, and above the door is a thing. It's not moving in a direction, it's just like repositioning itself. Like you see, like it's constantly trying to find a spot in this one section, just to like it's just moving.
Well, I guess
Should
it's
we, would you like to wait 10 minutes and well, I'll cast another spell, we'll see what happens, and perhaps I can distract or deal with that thing in case we want to go in that direction.
how big is it, DM?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked.
Oh,
Oh no!
It's about 5.5 feet.
oh, it's a big boy.
It's only gonna get one shot. Like it's gonna try to fall on somebody.
Have you ever
Once it's on the
gotten
ground, like
tentacle
I don't care
burn?
what's-
Legati, isn't that a fun time? You get like a suction cup burn on yourself. Don't ask, but I don't.
You don't think you can outrun a giant
Oh, I can
starfish?
outrun that, no problem.
Well, then what's the concern?
You and him.
I'll be
Me? I haven't said anything.
You literally said, "What's going on, guys?"
It's a
What's-
stealthy creature. It's on the ceiling.
What's the nearest thing
I'd
I
like
can
to
sit
know.
down on?
Oh, there's like, oh boy,
I mean, I could light
probably like a
something up.
small ottoman.
Is it
that's-
going to collapse if I sit on it?
I think you can find one that's
Yeah, I'm
that
gonna
can
give it
take
like
you
a
away.
little shake with my hand first, then I'm gonna sit down on it.
yeah. Just sit down.
I'm gonna reach into my pack. I'm gonna pull out my small knife, and I'm gonna begin concentrating on it. So it's like talk amongst yourselves, explore the area. I'll be 10 minutes.
I feel like we should stay here. If there's more of
It's
those.
just a starfish, and I'm gonna start wandering.
I would like you to re-roll me a stealth check.
Oh, joy.
I think she begrudgingly follows Arrow because she feels like this man is gonna fall in a hole.
To be fair, he's not being particularly stealthy anymore. He currently thinks the only threat is the starfish. That's all to preface that I got an 8.
Do I have
You
to
go.
roll one?
I'm gonna go explore. We'll see what happens. You turn a corner, looking sort of down this this little antechamber spot towards where the door is. And unbeknownst to you, one of your leather straps on your shoulder was hooked onto a candelabra on the wall, and you turn and it snaps off. Everyone except maybe Legati, because he's currently concentrating on your. on
Well,
your
I
knife.
went after.
You look around the corner, and Arrow, you can't help but look. One of the limbs from the starfish fully decouples and just sort of hangs, and you see closer towards center as you see a large yellow eye just sort of shifts. You see the pupils start to expand and contract, and then finally looks in your direction, and with a heavy thud, it lands on the floor. Begins to stand
Oh shit!
as you see every
That's not
single
right.
piece of limb has a large eye, and in the middle you see rows of teeth in the middle as it.
Legati, time to run.
I will stop concentrating.
Starfish, she said. Don't touch it because it's a starfish.
That's not a starfish. Look at it. It's an
Let's
abomination.
go. She started yanking so she could bring him back to Legati.
I will say it's going to attempt an attack right now on Arrow for the failed stealth.
Yay!
I think it's very fair.
Yes. Let me check
Okay.
my armor classes.
That's going to be an 18.
Oh, didn't have to check. Yeah.
Silvery barbs. Nagati really wants a spell to go off. He wants now we're making noise. He wants a spell. So roll
Natural
again,
2.
take the lowest.
Ooh.
Natural 2.
You have to do this for the rest
Two
of the
things happen.
campaign,
First,
Nick.
it slings one of its limbs towards you. Arrow. The silvery barbs, it was always going to miss the change. So law wills it to miss. Its limb hits the wall, and it numerous suction cups hit the wall as it finally removes itself from the miss, and you see it's taken pieces of the wood from it. The suction cups were so dense and so strong that it took some of the structure. As it, in addition to that, as casting the spell, you hear above you in the second story, meow meow, meow meow, feed time, feed time.
Oh hell yeah!
An automatic feeder!
All right, Nagati will make a note of that. So we've dealt with the current issue. We're gonna go get whatever that is.
What is everyone else doing? Is it is taking its moment to attack?
So it still didn't hit me, right?
No, it missed.
The silvery barbs. Perfect.
Mhm.
Yes, and Arrow, you have advantage on your next attack roll or whatever roll you do within 1 minute.
Fabulous. Thank you.
I mean, I think we should try to kill this thing.
I'm on board. I'm
I
pulling
want
my
to
sword out
get
anyway.
whatever that is, so we
All right.
can't be chased around by this guy.
Let's roll initiative.
Woo! 16.
16 for Arrow.
Oh, Mark. I got a 2.
A 2 for Legati.
I rolled
Particularly good.
18.
18 for Phoenix. Phoenix, you go first.
Ah, sweet. She hates this so much. Are you putting us on a map or is this theater?
No,
of the
this is
mind?
right now. This is Theater of the Mind at the moment.
Okay.
You're behind a stairwell, but you've been exposed.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I can technically punch, and then unarmored attack, right? As a bonus action?
No, you have not hit level. Oh! If you spend a key point, you can do 2 unarmored attacks, and then a weapon attack or an unarmored attack. Action to attack, bonus action to attack again, or spend a key point to do 2 attacks.
My brain was like,
So I'll say
did
this
not
much.
load.
No key points, 2 attacks.
Yeah.
1 key point, 3 attacks.
I'll spend a key point.
Okay. Your first attack can either be your bow staff or an unarmored attack.
She's gonna crack that thing because I don't want to touch it. Yeah. Okay. 23.
23 hits.
7 points.
7 points.
Nice.
Stab with the bow staff one of the eyes. It pops.
2 unarmored attacks?
Yeah, 2 armored attacks. You spend a key
Unarmored
point. Flurry
attacks.
blows.
Okay. Oh. That's 18.
18 hits.
5 points.
Okay, additional 5.
I don't think that's gonna hit. 14?
14. That does it.
Alright. Landed cricket. Still another 2, so 5.
5. I would like you to roll me 3 strength saving throws
Okay.
Ooh.
for each attack.
Oh, it's gonna. Oh, ooh.
Save?
I don't like that. That makes sense, but I don't like it.
17.
Okay. First one, the bow staff hits the eye. None of the suction cups catch the melee attack.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. First punch
I like this dice.
goes for one of the spots where the suction cups are not. You crack it there.
That might not do it. 15.
15. Able to dodge it. You're able to hit, sort of kick the underside where the dark blue undercoat is. You are not grappled from a melee attack.
Don't like it.
Next is going to be Arrow.
Because it didn't grab her, am I able to tell that it's trying to?
She's just dodging out of the
He's
way.
dodging.
She
Yeah,
hits
like-
it.
Or
Yeah,
like,
you saw it grapple a wall and pull pieces of the wood from it.
but is he smart enough to make that connection? I think he's just gonna.
I
He's
think
swing
she's
at
just
it
gonna
with
tell you,
sword.
love of God, hit it. I don't want that thing to touch me.
Well, then he's going to hit it. 17 plus 5, 20.
You have advantage too.
You do have
yeah.
advantage.
I mean, I think
See if it's a crit.
Yeah, it has to be used. It has to be used in the next roll.
It's the next roll,
Well,
anyways.
it was 3.
Okay, definitely connects.
I don't want to be
Um,
grappled by another thing.
Short sword is a
Another sea creature.
Yeah. Quit
4
touching
points
me.
of damage.
How much?
4.
4. Okay.
That was the lowest I could get.
That's your action. Any bonus actions?
No.
Okay. Roll me strength. Roll me a strength save.
I think that's an 8. It's a little cocked. I'll just go with 8
Okay.
plus 4. 12.
12. You also have bardic inspiration.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna do that. Actually, I don't trust it. It's a D6, right?
Mm-hmm.
6.
Ooh.
30. 18.
Able to crest across its sort of the barnacly flesh. A lot of the suction cups split as your blade goes through. You're able to dodge out of the massive wiggling flesh that it is, as you're able to get out of the way before it is able to touch you.
Big yuck.
It will now be the starfish's turn.
Sure.
It's going to try to envelop.
Oh, fun.
Who's it enveloping? No, that was too happy.
Nat 20 on you, Arrow.
Oh, goodbye, guys. I've been enveloped.
Okay.
Was this the blood dice?
No.
Oh, damn. It's like those are some murdering dice.
DM luck.
You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as it
Oh no.
bounces a little bit, leaps in the air, and with all 5 of its limbs just... you are considered restrained right now.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And there are these pincered like a row, like a circular row of like pointed and serrated teeth right against your shoulder.
Ow.
Just it's like it hasn't been able to bite, but it will do it in its next turn. That was the starfish's turn. Legati, your turn.
Music's playing from the bag. 'cause
That's
I cast
right.
the spell.
The light goes
So
on.
let's-
Oh, you got a
let's
whole
use-
band going on.
Yeah, let's use that to hold the dead again
Okay.
on this starfish. I can make a wisdom saving throw.
Natural 7.
That is a failure. I will roll damage, and it is injured.
It is.
That's going to be 12 necrotic damage on this thing.
Okay. It's looking bad.
It looked bad before.
Yeah, it's
A horrible looking beast.
it shivers. You feel like you're currently standing, Arrow, and this thing has enveloped you, and it is like piggybacking on you. As the music goes on, once again, starts to vibrate within this body. You are vibrating along with it. You can see this thing starting to falter.
Don't like that.
Don't
Anything
worry,
else?
Arrow. We'll get you out of there.
Thanks.
There we go.
Phoenix, you're up.
She hates this so much. I was trying to read my thing here. I'm gonna spend another key point, and I'm gonna do Hands of Harm.
All right.
But that's just a regular attack to hit, right?
Yeah. You might. I still have to rememorize your Hams of Harm thing because it's still fairly new. So it applies to me.
Well, she did this in the dark, so they technically haven't seen it. We'll do it if I hit.
Sure. Yeah, let's roll to hit. I think you still need to roll to hit before you start to spend the key point.
That's different though for attack. I think that hits though. It's an 18.
Okay. Can you apply this Hands of Harm to... Are you using your bow staff or your action is to hit with arm?
I'm just gonna hit the thing.
Okay.
Why is it gonna kill her?
No. 18 hits.
Okay. I forget what we do for my martial die.
Your martial die right now is still a D4, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
so
so
it's D4 plus my wisdom.
Yeah.
Let me spend the point.
So I think it is. Does it add or is it exchange your normal bludgeoning damage to necrotic?
Good question. I think it's just a D4 plus whiz. 1 second. Should know these things. New person. Who this?
To deal
One roll.
extra necrotic damage.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's just my die plus my wisdom.
So essentially, this guy does not have resistance to necrotic damage. So you're gonna roll 2d4, plus your wisdom, and I guess plus your dex because you're also. It's just adding.
Yeah, because it's just on top of what would normally be
Yeah.
punching this thing.
So
So
2d4 wisdom dex.
okay, what's your wisdom modifier?
2,
And then what's your dex modifier?
3. So,
So
plus 5 to this.
whatever this is, plus 5.
Dang, that's a mean old stack.
That makes sense. It's a key point. You're spending
Yeah.
a key point to do this. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
She sees this thing try to eat him, panics a little bit, and is like, I don't want him to get eaten. So she flares up, but her hair turns like pitch black. Her eyes turn like this sickly green, and her veins turn green. And she just tries to knock the hell out of it to let him go.
Ooh.
Okay. 7 plus 5, 12.
12. You take a quick step back, grip your fist tight, and you start to feel that coloration, that new change of flow of ki that you can now control and consume. Start to change your own coloration, holding the power in your hand. How do you take this thing out?
Oh. Is it like this around him? Like a
I
little.
was gonna say, is my
Yeah,
face
it's like-
against it?
Yeah, like it's part of its suction is on your face, and the mouth is on your shoulder. It hasn't bitten down yet, but it's like, it's like if someone ran to someone and just fully engulfed them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if she can see the mouth around him, she flares that up, but she hits it in like a pressure point that she's been trained to do, and just breaks the shit out of this thing's jaw.
I think from its current position, it's not like you can go under where Arrow's
No.
shoulder is. I think you go from the back end.
Yeah, like
The
she's
middle
trying to find a
point
pressure
of-
point to crack this.
Yeah, the middle point of all the limbs. You jump, grabbing one of the banisters of the stairwell to get yourself an extra height, coming down with full fists going down, almost like having your knuckles out ready to hit a pressure point, and hitting the middle portion of the of the starfish. And Arrow, you can't help but like go to your knee
Sorry.
as the force sort of brings you down, but you definitely feel this thing, all the muscles relax.
And I just try to take it off of him.
Yeah,
But she's
peel
still
it.
got like black hair and like green veins.
You have suction cup
Oh,
marks
shit.
all over your face. Just
Are you okay?
Yeah, fine. Did you change colors, or is there something wrong with my eyes?
Oh, right. And she just kind of like shakes it off a little bit. No, that's something that happens occasionally from time to time.
Cool. Thank you. That was almost a little dicey.
Please don't poke the bear again. Or whatever the hell that is.
In my defense, it was a starfish.
and you still hear meow
Perfectly
meow
normal
meow meow.
starfish.
Food time, food time.
Yeah, once Arrow is okay, I want to go up and get that.
You see a little like a cat feeder, like a little container that has long run out of food, connected to a bowl, sort of an enlarged bowl, and there's like this arcane box, and specifically for what you find, Legati, is the back end of this box is exposed, and you see connected to a couple of copper wires is a small, like 1-inch vial of green liquid.
Mm. Well, I also want that. Is that part of the feeder or is that separate?
Yeah, it's part of the feeder.
Okay.
What the hell were they feeding the cat?
For real. Super
It's on the
serum.
back end, so it's not like it's connected to a bunch of wire.
Oh, like a
copper
power
wires?
source.
Yeah, it's like a power source.
Food. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Apologies. 10 minutes. It will be worth it. It's
Yeah.
safer. Yeah.
Jesus.
Take your time.
Unseen servant ritual.
Okay.
Gonna give my unseen servant my quarterstaff. I'm gonna back 60 feet away in this house. Usher everybody 60 feet away. The unseen servant's gonna like go over and poke the. I mean, really, it's just the quarterstaff moving on its own. It's gonna poke the feeder. It's gonna poke the battery, or like the power source, and try not to break it. And then if nothing happens, it's going to just try to like grab it and take it.
Okay. The staff working on its own knocks against. When you cast a spell, the gramophone turns off, the LCD screen turns off, and this thing is going meow meow meow, turns off.
Yeah, probably safer that way.
And poke it. Doot, doot. Something's rattling inside. You can assume to be like old cat food.
A bonus.
Going around, tapping the glass. Ting ting ting. There is no reaction. It's just no longer glowing at the moment. I think it picks it up. Nothing occurs as it walks back to you.
Right. I wanted some of that water, so that's perfect. All right, I'm going to have that hold it for the remainder of the hour it exists. But eventually that'll just go in the bag.
Okay.
Can I take an eye from this starfish? Like carve one out?
Make me a survival check. See if you don't just,
Yeah,
pop
let me
the
do
eye
a check
by
about
accident.
it before I do something stupid.
Can I take one of its teeth?
Make me a survival check as well.
Bad?
It's just or sleight of hand. I'll accept either or.
Oh.
I'll do the sleight of hand.
I think my sleight of hand's not bad, but we'll
18.
see.
18.
This survival's better.
You're able to probably find some fabric and wrapping around one of the tooth and just put your foot to the base of the tooth and pull out one of these serrated looking teeth.
19.
Perfect.
Survival, though.
19. It takes a moment. I think you have to find some sort of you bought it. You actually bought a dagger. You bought a dagger. Just cutting through flesh until finally you start to see that little tenon, that little bit of connection. You sever that in the eye.
How big's the eye?
See, compared to its body, it's, I would say, as big as,
Like a mouse pad?
yeah, as big as your mouse pad, I would say.
Big freaking eye.
You want to show the mouse pad for just a comparison?
I gotta throw my dice off of it, but yeah.
That's big.
That's a big freaking eyeball.
Yeah.
She'll put it in her bag for now. Or wrap it up and then put it in her bag.
God, you guys are weird.
Yeah, after I put the tooth away, I'm gonna like watch her finish carving it out. No judgment. I also love strange, creepy things, but what do you plan on doing with its eyeball?
I think there's something in my book, and she holds up Miles' book of poisons that I can maybe use.
Do you
Maybe
plan
some
on-
throwing darts. We'll see.
That answered my question. All right. Fair enough.
And then a big grinned Legati with a floating
She brings
Cat-
over the eyeball to
cat feeder.
What?
This is a place of so many riches. So happy we came here.
I'll just put starfish eyeball in my
I should
inventory.
probably- Starfish tooth. Serrated starfish tooth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that the majority of this house is kind of decrepit. Definitely more exposed to most of the elements. Just sort of like this one area you were in had some kind of covering.
I will say to the group, does anybody find it weird that there's like so much tech, but like they're all dead? I feel like they would have survived a little longer or something. Their machines and stuff did.
I don't think.
I mean, yeah, I didn't know.
Get enough to survive disaster, even if their tech is.
I'm just saying, if they're that smart, somebody's got to be around.
We we have established that the normal rules of rot and decay do not seem to apply quite right in this place. Perhaps the side effect of the lanterns and water itself. Maybe the technology preserved itself, but not the users.
That's sad.
It occurs to me, it may be possible that it is harmful to even be here. Around the corrupted weave that seems to be powering these devices. And I suggest we move more quickly.
The imaginary Geiger counter. And
Yeah, like click, click, click. Oh, right. No people, but lots of cool, weird technology hanging out around here.
And creatures.
I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't need to add another thing to this.
Yeah, I have questions. Let's talk and walk.
sure.
Where's our exit out of here?
Yeah, it's sort of the southwest, sort of exiting out over the dead body of the starfish, opening the door. Several sunken, mud-caked streets that you can see, benches and things that would indicate that there once was a civilization here, that lead to fallen walls and numerous broken seatings on these two large towers on opposite side of this large divot, which looks very much like an amphitheater.
Cool. Looks like a giant crater.
Yeah. Heading inside, both in the two towers sit on the west and the east side. And to the north and the south of this amphitheater are two sets of lanterns that just sort of give that soft glow, giving soft illumination. The amphitheater goes down about like 3 solid levels with numerous seatings that look like they've been trashed and weather-worn. And the closer you get to shore for the west side, a lot more, you feel a bit like more salt spray from the ocean. And right in the middle of this amphitheater is this like circular steel platform where you can imagine like performers go on stage or speakers speak to crowds here in the amphitheater, addressing all who would surround them. It looks like a place that once held a lot of attention from the civilization that used to be here.
Are there stairs to walk down in it?
There are, yeah, a couple of stairs.
Perception check, and then I'll walk down the stairs.
Same note. I'm gonna, like, seeing this large amphitheater, I was gonna kind of pause and look around. Are there any bodies? Like, corpses, skeletons?
Yeah. So I know, roll me a perception check, and then Phoenix, go and roll me perception as well. Is there any specific thing that you're looking at, Legati, as you start to come across the scene?
I will be watching behind us to make sure that we do not get ambushed by a ghoul or another starfish.
Roll me a perception check. So we're going to go in order in terms of the asking. So Phoenix, you said just an overall perception looking around.
I only got a 9.
A 9. You are distracted as a flash of light sort of gives a illumination across this entire space, and then the following sound of thunder. But yeah, just sort of an overall cursory glance. Both of the towers look like they had, like, there's some walls that are missing in these towers. They are filled with like hangers, like those things that would prop open, like would hang clothes and costumes.
Oh, like a clothesline?
Yeah. But that's what you can sort of get a cursory glance in there. What did you get, Arrow?
12.
12. There are several bodies currently, barnacles and other sort of sea urchins currently affix their body to the stairs and the broken rock that would be where their seatings are.
Okay.
And then, Legati, what'd you get?
I got a 4.
4. Look around. Sound of the lightning
Yeah.
shakes you a little bit. I think it shakes you all as the lightning goes off. It's so loud that it can almost vibrate the floor. You feel like a little bit of the rocks jumping. You guys are going south, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll say you go down the first flight. Once again, flash of light and the thunderous boom. But then the ground doesn't shake. Then the ground shakes.
Like a delay.
And then you see some sort of silhouette shadow coming over one of the ridges. It starts to get closer to the lanterns on the southern side and eventually is illuminated by the soft green. It is this about 20 to 25 foot enlarged humanoid shape with a sort of like this crusted mask over the face with these light green eyes that gives off this glowing glare. It's currently holding a trident in one hand and a claw, sort of a clawed hand in the other. It walks over the ridge, catches you guys as you start to walk down, and goes, "Audience, performance, have show." And as the word show crests across, the bodies that were affixed, you start to see a light glow of green as it, and these ghostly figures start to emerge. The enlarged form goes, "Friends, discourse with me. Enlighten our audience." Starts to make its way down to the amphitheater.
It's going down towards like the platform there.
Yeah. And I think it might be best to show you what I mean.
Panic.
Yeah.
Panic.
You guys have gone down.
Immediately trying to
Holding
kill
her breath.
us. So could
Yeah,
be
yeah.
worse.
I won't strike first, but I am quaking.
Hmm.
Ooh, big map.
And these are ghostly
Oh.
guys.
Yeah. Just
Oh, that's a big fella. Okay.
they give off this soft glow that emanates a certain direction around it. These ghostly figures, but they're adhered to their seats. The big fella, this big person goes, "Discourse with me, so we may educate our audience."
Sounds good.
Gotti.
I think Legati will give the bag to Phoenix.
What are you going to go discuss? How he's going to smash you into 5 million pieces?
If he wants to do that, he'll do that anyway. But I give a little wave and I'm stepping forward, like.
He steps on the
Anyone else should go with you.
He steps on the platform, barely fitting, but steps.
Yeah.
I think he'd have to
You
step.
know, Legati will step forward. It's rude to do otherwise.
I will step behind this man.
I will also. I want to wait. Let me double check something. Yeah, I want to be close to Legati.
Okay.
Ugh.
Hello, sir.
Have you given thanks to the wave, mother?
Oh.
What is your relationship?
Say yes.
I have religion. Can I make a roll and see if
Yeah.
I know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
I have a question. She's a pretty decent figure, right?
She's a fairly
In this
decent,
world?
yeah.
Does she have the same moniker that I know, like I as a player know of her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so does Legati recognize this without a roll? Like the
I'll
Wave
say,
Mother
yeah.
is- yeah.
Because also, if you remember, when you were at court,
Yeah.
the judge, I believe it was the judge, did mention the Wave Mother as part of their own kind of like sector that's
Yeah, and then
recognized
they
within
had
the courts.
The maid was also working for a cleric of the Wave Mother.
Yeah. It's kind of a main staple within Model Pier. Essentially, real name, for at least the true name, is Umberlee, also known as the Wave Mother, goddess of the deep, a bit of a chaotic, traditionally evil, but there are civilizations that do also practice more of the neutral aspect of the Wave Mother, and definitely is like, it worships like Tempest clerics, like people who love the high intensity of nature and storms.
Yeah, so in response to his question, I mean, I'm gonna, if I don't know anything better, I'm just gonna echo what he says and say like, thanks be to the Wave Mother, thanks to you, all of you and this wonderful audience. We are visitors in your land, but we are eager to learn and to discourse.
And what about your thoughts about the folk saint?
It's another one. Do I know what that is, or do I need to make a roll?
Like,
That
Arrow,
one-
what's that folk saint?
That one, I think, because I don't want to. If you like roll naturally, it's still. I don't think this is something you've heard.
Yeah, so if it's impossible for me to know, then Legati's just going to honestly say, is it folk or fork that he's saying?
Folk.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Legati's going to say, we unfortunately have no knowledge of the folk saint, but I am very eager to learn. Legati is honest about that because he wants to hear whatever weird thing this guy's got going on.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Okay. Better rolls would be good.
I assume this isn't a better known thing that Arrow would know either.
No, this is something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 12.
12.
Okay.
You see this big creature look to the audience, and there's like these spectral forms of the audience just sort of. There's like a clutch my pearls moment of like, how could you not? And
We are not from your land. Apologies.
Our folk saint is well known. Does mean you are unaware? Are you not educated for such a discourse? It is fine.
Yeah.
Kind of. You've lost one check.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's intimidating. I didn't like that.
Where do you hail, our guests here in our audience?
I think I just squeak out and burn.
Tidewell.
Legati wants to say that, like, I don't think these people know what year it is. I don't think they know what time it is. I don't think they know what's going on. So Legati wants to say the name of, like, whatever his land would have been, like, way long in the past, if we have any knowledge of that. Or just a place that existed way long in the past. You know?
I have not made like 1,000 old places, so you can definitely like mention an old place you've seen in your own explorers. Sort of like an old village and city within VinTear. There is a recognition from this creature looking at you, Legati, but a confusion and cock of head towards Anburn and Tidewell. And you see that there is a moment of him going, I have found myself in a position where I am not aware of your areas. Good. I would love to know. And I will say, catching this guy off his knowledge has granted you a success.
You guys want to talk about your homes?
Tell me an interesting story about your homes.
Used to be ruled by fire giants, and then there were 3 that Arcane, known as the Griffins, enslaved them. And now we're no longer slaves.
Story of uprising.
Something like that.
Looks to you, Arrow.
He like wants to say something, but he's like, I don't know if he would know what it's called now, but he'll try anyway.
Gotta impress him.
I live beside the gazing pool, and at night shadows creep across the desert, beckoning children to their final breath.
All right. I'd like both of you to roll me either a performance or persuasion check. As now we're getting into a creative storytelling moment.
-1.
Oh, good, they're the same. +0.
I told you, we're both bad at this. We need Diva.
I should have saved that bardic
You know
inspiration.
what?
but
I
it's
ain't
too
rolling that
late.
dice. That dice is a B. Persuasion or performance?
Either
doesn't
or.
matter. Okay. 15.
So what was yours, Arrow, again? Once again?
8.
8.
Mine was a 16, but I have a -1.
You see this creature go, a story of uprising. And you start to hear people engrossed, these spiritual specter audience members, engrossed in the story that you're telling, Phoenix. But as you start to go, Arrow, I live near the gazing pool, and there are shadows out in the desert. There's a bit of a scoff coming from this big guy. We have told tales of shadow and magic. Not a new chapter in our books. And so I will count this as a draw for now.
I was like,
Phoenix. Thanks,
like,
Phoenix.
Phoenix is like, I'm just gonna word vomit my whole backstory if that's what you want.
Likes it.
He then looks down, sort of walks forward towards the platform and looks towards you all. And what is your thought? Let's see here, about... It's about to say something, and you hear from its mouth, like your ears could not hear the words. Something stopped your hearing for a moment. You just hear like static. And they're divine gifts.
Context clues. I think he said gods.
Yeah, Arrow's like, was there a name in there that I didn't catch?
Do you mind repeating that just one more time? One little more time. I didn't catch the beginning. Sorry.
You see that he looks towards the audience and goes, I believe our discourse has come to an end.
No.
No. I mean, did you say the gods? Did you mean the gods?
Perhaps we shall put on a different show.
Uh-oh.
And that's what we're going to call today's game.
Spelling tests. Spelling tests.
It's a spelling bee. I can do that.
Oh, no.
We don't have to jump right to violence. There's so many other kinds of shows we can do.
The only way.
Thank you so much for joining us for Trials of VinTear for session 8. I believe when we return, which is funny because in this release date, we'll be jumping right into Tasha's Mall of Everything for the next 3 weeks. And then we will return to see what occurs. But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.